Have you heard about that night when Pitbull Cruz almost lost everything to a fighter no one had ever heard of? You'd better hold on to the edge of your seat because I promise you haven't seen a fight with this level of epicness in a long time. Content from the moment it was announced that Isaac Cruz and Angel Fierro would go head-to-head, fans knew this wasn't just going to be any other fight. With two Mexicans in the ring, the least anyone could expect was an all-out bloodbath. Known as the Mexican mini Tyson, Cruz's bravery, aggression, and punch are highly lethal, leaving him no choice but to possess an abominable knockout power. Pitbull Cruz seemed to have everything he needed to win this fight. However, the skeptics seized on the fact that his opponent, Angel Fierro, still carried the label of unknown to claim he was just looking for an easy win. The day before, at the weigh-in, the fighters heated things up even more, behaving in the least passive way possible. Their statements were far from showing just a competitive rivalry. It was personal. Just like Pitbull, Fierro had a taste for blood, and the blood running through his veins made him a fierce fighter as well. Despite being a complete unknown to much of the fan base, he didn't wear the tricolor badge just for show. Theoretically, experts and insiders in the sport claimed Fierro wasn't a serious threat to Pitbull. With a modest professional record of 23 wins, 18 of them by the hard way of knockout, and 2 previous losses, he wasn't believed to be a real danger to Cruz. However, the way this fight played out still has more than a few of them lying awake at night. Fight summary. The bell rang and the fighters were given free rein in the ring, to destroy or be destroyed. As expected, Pitbull's trademark aggression was on display from the very beginning of the bout. Fierro was clearly having a hard time trying to read Cruz, a fighter known for never giving his opponents room or comfort to take the famous feeling out round. Pitbull went straight for the throat, and his fury hadn't even hit full stride.
If he saw Cruz were to establish an up-and-down jab, ignored so much that it will develop abandonment issues in this fight, you guys. And yet, we know what he saw Cruz is all about. One gear.
Yeah. Body. For as big as Fierro is, you see the height advantage, the nearly...
There's no doubt the first round tipped the scales in Cruz's favor, but letting the fight go exactly as predicted was not part of Fierro's plan. Cruz landed powerful looping punches to his opponent's body, but the damage didn't seem to be adding up as expected. Suddenly, it felt like Pitbull was just burning fuel, throwing a high volume of punches, while Fierro might have been conserving his energy for the later rounds.
The attitude that Fierro brings to the ring, whatever you want to say about his skill set,
does he ever? Yeah, he possesses power in both hands, but again, he's getting hit.
Really right hook. Big left hook from Cruz.
And I was just going to set Cruz to make mistakes.
Almost half of Cruz's power connects were body punches.
Body word, straight jab, but again.
Morales trained him, and you have to understand, these are to Fierro.
And there's a jab!
Without a doubt, Cruz lived up to his nickname. The Mexican Mike Tyson brought an aggression to the ring that few can match, but that didn't mean his opponent was small. The end of the third round left everyone, and especially the skeptics, in shock. For the first time, Fierro had a top-tier opponent in serious trouble, one who by that point was expected to have him in his back pocket. Landing brutal shots, Fierro had Pitbull staggering and momentarily stripped him of his impossible-to-knock-out aura. Though Cruz never hit the canvas, he had to throw more punches just to mask his vulnerability with counterattacks. The bloodbath had just reached a new level.
It's to keep Cruz off of him.
Yeah, he talked about that.
But the Cruz attack, he is in Cruz control, but that doesn't mean that he's just...
Chance to by crowding him with those short hooks inside. Fierro.
Yes, Fierro comes back! And there lands another right, and here we go, toe-to-toe! Fierro and Fuego! Fierro mounting a comeback! Plenty! What an exchange! What a round! Viva me!
Sticking to his plan of breaking his opponent down punch by punch, Cruz managed to recover a bit after being rattled. Even so, Fierro's composure still looked like his ace in the hole, a looming threat to Pitbull, who now looked like a dog being tricked into getting his rabies shot. Without showing signs of trouble, Fierro was earning the respect and admiration of everyone present in the most honorable way possible.
Looked like Pitbull was possibly hurt by those right hands last round, but he did take it. Body shots could eventually slow. They're back to her.
Oh, left hand.
But be careful beginning tonight against these two fighters.
To the body, Fierro goes upstairs with a combination.
If Fierro truly wanted to move forward on his own path to victory, he had to protect himself from Cruz's most lethal weapon, his looping overhands. A tough mission, but one he seemed to understand perfectly. Pitbull didn't just bounce back after every step his rival forced him to take. He came back swinging as if he'd never been hurt, showing a level of determination that was also worthy of admiration. Meanwhile, each of his sledgehammer punches was absorbed by a Fierro who seemed destined for that very task.
Career best 39 power shots in round one in his power.
Into the fight, he's got the respect of Cruz, and this is becoming the mano-a-mano fight
We are through the midway point of the fifth round and the fight, and now Cruz connecting on feet.
With those punches, is he going to tire out?
Even though his fists were anything but soft, Cruz had to grapple with the frustration of landing shots that still couldn't send his opponent to the canvas.
Cruz is landing 53 trailing by 3 points on his scorecard. He gave Cruz
doesn't go away as he turns the tables on Pitbull here.
To establish the proper range for Fierro with that reach advantage. There's a couple of left hooks, make that 3-4, and Fierro.
But Morales, he talked about
just once in a while instead of just squaring up and coming forward, but
so far it's always worked for Cruz.
6 on his unofficial scorecard.
Although you saw a good counter uppercut there from Fierro. Remember, this is Cruz's bounce back from that Valenzuela fight he won.
But in terms of the commemorative,
you have to wonder how the judges are going to be scoring these exchanges.
So he is closing the gap. Point must system.
The eye-catching punches, yeah.
Cruz has the pop. We are watching them try to steal each other's souls in this.
Let's get a rematch. Let's see how it ends. So
give and take. Big left hand.
The final round delivered a full-blown bloodbath, with both Mexicans giving it their all to be the last man standing, or at the very least, the one who landed the final blow. The unknown fighter had already held his ground impressively, and by then, simply surviving a fight against the bloodthirsty Isaac Pitbull Cruz was a kind of victory in itself. Still, fate had yet to play its final card, and it was entirely possible that something greater than just survival could await Fierro on the judges' scorecards. In any case, 3 long minutes still stood in front of him. 3 minutes in which everything could either turn in his favor or crash into misfortune. With that in mind, Fierro dug deep and gave the fans one of the best closing rounds in recent memory. Of course, Pitbull rose to the occasion. His aggression didn't let up for a single second, clashing directly with Fierro's hopes and strategy. The phrase, "kill or be killed," finally made sense between the two, and the roaring crowd was living proof of it.
Uppercut by Cruz, but Fierro overextending there, but it's here.
He does, throwing a lot more, landing.
Cruz!
Rally big here in the pockets.
A visceral display of courage, skill, not only Mexican boxing, but boxing, period!
The non-believers were suddenly praying to any boxing god they could name. And if there were any Fierro fans in the crowd, they had surely started believing in miracles. And with good reason, after 10 grueling rounds, the battle finally came to an end. The sound of the final bell thundered through the arena, slicing through both fighters' chances and letting them know there was nothing more left to give. Their campaign for victory was over, and they had shown their supporters exactly why they deserved to take the win, even though surviving alone already said a lot about both of them. This bout was instantly engraved in boxing's golden pages. And while it may not have been officially named Fight of the Year, it certainly earned a place in the year-end recaps of countless experts and fans, all of whom recognized the power of Aztec blood in a clash where there was no weak warrior, only one incredibly stronger than the other. By the time the announcer stepped into the center of the ring, there was no doubt both fighters had earned the respect of everyone present. Still, one thing remained: to announce the rightful winner of the battle. After a few final seconds of uncertainty, the referee raised his hand in line with the judge's decision, declaring Isaac Cruz the worthy victor. Despite facing a true test, Pitbull proved he could bounce back from Fierro's relentless pressure. And Fierro, though leaving without the win, went home with his name written in boxing's golden record, a testament to his heart, grit, and performance. At last, both fighters could rest, knowing their efforts had pushed them in one way or another to touch glory. Closing Isaac Cruz ended the bout by showing that boxing is the noble art of fists, a discipline for gentlemen. He made it clear that Fierro deserved just as much respect and recognition for having withstood 10 brutal rounds of top-level boxing, the kind very few could endure. In the greatest act of tricolor respect, Cruz took off his hat to honor him. And if anyone still doubted how to interpret Fierro's loss, it was nothing short of a victory. one that marked a clear before and after in his career, in the fairest and most honorable way possible, by earning the respect of one of the sport's greatest. If you've made it this far, thank you. Remember, the best way to support my content is by dropping a like on the video. What other great Isaac Cruz fight would you like to see featured in another video? Do you agree with the judge's decision in this bout? I'll be reading your comments.